It was over at that moment.
13 seconds.
There's no excuses. All right, this is an explanation. They had a great season, but the injuries just it was too much to overcome.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to take anything away from Seattle because they were banged up last week 18, San Francisco, and they only beat them 13-3, the Seahawks. Yeah. So they put it on them. That was great. But I just think, I mean, obviously there was no Kittle. McCaffrey got banged up, even though he played a little more. And Purdy couldn't, do anything. So, look, usually I reserve my grades for the Cowboys, but since they're where they always are this time of year, on the couch watching the game with the rest of us, I got a grade for the Niners, specifically Brock Purdy. Now, this could speak to the whole team, but just to show I'm objective, Brock Purdy gets a D.
Oh, wow.
He gets a D for this game.
Purdy. But it wasn't Brock's fault. 49ers exit early.
You want to sing?
Yeah, well, D, I disagree that it wasn't totally that it wasn't Brock's fault. Wasn't that the whole song?
Wow.
Now, I will say it is hard to go play in the East Coast. Okay, and they were beat up. They played the East Coast. They come back. They've got a short week. Those are difficult. Seattle's rested, and I think that their tank was empty. But when you look at Brock Purdy, I went back and in the advanced passing stats, they have a stat called off-target throws. And in the postseason, his first postseason, his on-target pass percentage was 71.9%. Okay, his second postseason, his on-target pass percentage was 68%. This postseason, his on-target pass percentage was 41%. So to say it wasn't Brock's fault, and I think you might have to revise the song to be, it was partially Brock's fault.
It was some on him for sure.
It
I mean,
was
he had
more
2
Brock's fault
turnovers.
than
But it was everybody.
I'm workshopping it.
It was a team effort.
What went wrong for the Niners holistically is they were too injured and ran into the best team in football. Like that's the bigger picture. Furthermore, I think one of the biggest losers of this weekend probably is the Philadelphia Eagles watching this. Like that team came to our house and ended our Super Bowl defense because the Niners were punching over their weight in that Eagles game. And again, they are a better team than they showed Saturday night, but Seattle has been just a machine throughout the year. They don't even need their quarterback to play great, to be great, and so that's what it is. But since we're asking about Purdy, and since it had been a discussion all year, and Brew got very mad at you a lot, I do think it's fair to do a final tale of the tape.
For what?
Well, you advocated that maybe they should have stuck with the hot hand in Mac Jones. So if you do look at the final tale of the tape of Purdy versus Mac Jones.
Is this for just this game?
No, it's the season.
Oh.
And
you make a compelling argument.
I mean, I'm not saying one's better than the other.
You're not saying Purdy's better than Mac Jones?
I'm not saying anything.
No, I'm asking, like, why?
No. Let me rephrase, bro. It's interesting you said that. I am not saying the guy on the right who has the objectively better stats is better than the guy on the left. I'm not saying that.
No.
First of all, you have to appreciate Nick's commitment to trolling. He's truly dedicated to the craft. He drops a banner targeting Josh Allen, he declares the Philadelphia Eagles the biggest losers, and he takes a shot at Brock Purdy. He's hitting every predictable note in the commentary playbook. However, I cannot watch that game and place the blame on Brock Purdy's shoulders. I genuinely don't believe anyone who watched that contest walks away thinking Brock Purdy simply wasn't good enough. Let's be clear. I've stated previously that Mac Jones, with the proper coaching staff and surrounding team, could develop into a very, very capable NFL quarterback. We persistently use Mac Jones as this low-bar comparison. He's not even better than Mac Jones. But perhaps the last few years have served as a crash course in just how pivotal coaching truly is. I've always understood its importance, but we now have glaring, straightforward examples for anyone skeptical. The resurgences of Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, and Baker Mayfield under new systems. If you were ever a doubter of coaching's impact, or quick to label a quarterback as inherently not good enough, this era should have recalibrated your perspective. Perhaps the structure and guidance matter significantly more than we often concede. So, we can keep using Mac Jones as this easily accessible fruit to pick, implying even he has had success. But maybe, just maybe, Mac Jones is actually a reasonably talented quarterback. Has that possibility ever been seriously entertained? Is that concept truly so shocking? That said, I am not at all convinced that Mac Jones would have led a team to victory over the Philadelphia Eagles in a similar scenario. I have serious doubts, particularly when you factor in the mobility and improvisational elements required. Furthermore, I'm not inclined to heavily weigh this specific season for Brock Purdy in a direct comparison, given he was in and out of the lineup dealing with injuries. It was an irregular, disjointed campaign for him. Mac Jones was indeed impressive in his own right this year. I refuse to let this entire segment devolve into a Purdy versus Jones debate, because frankly, I can mount a defense for both players. What is patently absurd is leveraging this particular game and moment to diminish Brock Purdy's standing. Let me be explicit. I do not believe Brock Purdy is an absolute, bona fide top 3 superstar quarterback in the league. The issue arises when we then use that accurate assessment as a springboard to claims like, see, he's not even worthy of being the starter, or he's not a major contributor to wins. I fundamentally and wholeheartedly disagree with that logical leap. The reality is far simpler. They faced a superior team, and they were utterly dominated. They got smoked, destroyed, lit up. Choose your verb. There are no qualifications to be made. This highlights a recurring, almost amusing pattern in our discourse. We selectively choose when to compliment a quarterback or a coach based on the immediate outcome. Personally, I had the Seattle Seahawks winning this game. It was the only contest this weekend where I felt genuine confidence in the outcome. The rationale was straightforward. The Seahawks are an excellent, remarkably healthy team. The 49ers are not healthy. Yes, San Francisco beat the Eagles, but that victory, while impressive, also underscored the profound dysfunction within Philadelphia. The Seahawks powerfully confirmed that diagnosis. What the 49ers accomplished this season, navigating their injury crisis, was incredibly impressive. It was awesome to witness. Kyle Shanahan is an elite, top-tier NFL coach. However, recall that everyone criticized him last year for not finding a way to overcome injuries. This year he does, and we rightfully praise that as a testament to great coaching. But if he surmounted the injury obstacle this year and not last, what does that tell us? The narrative then became, see, Brock Purdy found a way, Shanahan found a way. It shows their greatness and the Eagles' shortcomings. Fast forward to this blowout loss. What is the narrative now? Was the coaching suddenly insufficient? Was Purdy suddenly not good enough? Or does it indicate that the situation is inherently more complex than our desire for simple, reductionist takeaways? This is precisely why you cannot simplistically reduce the conversation to, Brock Purdy just wasn't good enough in the playoffs. And for added, reductive fun, let's compare him to Mac Jones? Let's pump the brakes on that line of thinking. Can we please chill for a moment? Can we take a beat? I expected the Seahawks to control this game, but I'll be honest. I did not anticipate a 41-6 demolition. I thought there would be more offensive action from Purdy and the 49ers. However, the Seahawks' defense is legitimate. When you possess a truly elite defense, which Seattle does, and you are at full health, and you have elite defensive coaching, and you are facing an offense held together by duct tape and super glue, then a result like this, a complete demolition, is always a distinct possibility. I'm not saying it's inevitable every week, but it is unequivocally on the table. In the blink of an eye, you can say, yep, that makes sense. The defense was simply bigger, stronger, and faster in every conceivable facet when matched against that depleted offense. Consequently, I do not place blame on the individual players in such a scenario. It's analogous to when the Kansas City Chiefs were blown out by the Philadelphia Eagles. I didn't blame Patrick Mahomes. I didn't blame the individual players. The Eagles were simply the better team. We can zoom in and find moments where Mahomes could have made a play, but the overarching truth was a talent and execution deficit. Sometimes you just face a significantly superior opponent, and you lose. The Eagles were significantly better than the Chiefs that day. They got rocked. That's football. At the same time, there are moments where exceptional coaching or quarterback play can overcome such a mismatch and make a game fiercely competitive. In many ways, I believe the NFL is more of a coaching league than a pure players league. We witnessed this with the Los Angeles Rams against the Eagles. The Eagles were clearly the more talented team, yet the game came down to the final play, because coaching and specific player performances, like Puka Nakua's, elevated the Rams to a competitive level. A level that, for instance, Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo, Mahomes, and Travis Kelce couldn't quite reach against that same Eagles team. Ultimately for the Seahawks, as long as they simply executed their assignments, as long as each player took care of his specific responsibility, they were always going to win this game. And when they executed at the highest possible level, which they did, the natural byproduct, in hindsight, was a blowout of this magnitude. There was simply nothing the 49ers, in their current depleted state, could do to counteract it. That's just the brutal, straightforward reality of the sport. But these are simply my analytical perspectives. I am absolutely eager to hear yours. What are your thoughts on Brock Purdy and the 49ers following this result? What do you believe went wrong? Was it simply poor play from San Francisco, inadequate coaching, or are the Seahawks just the objectively better team? A painful but perhaps necessary admission for 49ers fans. Let me know your analysis in the comment section below. I read every single comment. So, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, let's get some discussions going. Let's have some passionate debates. But ultimately, let's enjoy the conversation. Please consider subscribing. We are building an incredible community here, and I would absolutely love to see you become part of it. My aim is to create something we all feel a genuine connection to, something we're truly excited to be a part of. I believe we're making significant progress. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it genuinely helps with visibility and the platform's algorithm. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.